Hello, I'm Mills Lane, and this is The Lane. Be sure to be down with the Lane gang. You can like, share, and subscribe. And as always, your support is paramount. Today's program is also sponsored by Watch While You Work Detailing. That's Watch While You Work Mobile Detailing. You can find them on watchwhileyouwork.com. As also Instagram and Facebook. Also sponsored by Sips by Nicole Ben. And you can find that on Instagram, each word sinful_sips_by_Nicole and Sinfulsipsbynicole on Facebook. Now, let's get started. Cheerleading. Cheerleading is an American staple, usually where young girls and guys perform dances, chants, routines that are synonymous with helping the sports team thrive. Cheerleaders have parents. And on our first story, the parent, much like in sports sometimes, where youth, the parents tend to get out of control. And at events, you'll see loud parents and things like that. But this story takes on a different take. As a cheerleader's parent went the extra mile to try to offend her daughter's rivals.
Ainella is under fire tonight for allegedly sending threatening messages and manipulating fake naked photos of her daughter's rivals on the cheer squad.
I was really upset. I was like, who would say this to someone?
17-year-old Maddie Heim says she received the threatening text messages from an anonymous number last year. Messages telling her she had no friends and should kill herself. Then a fake video of her vaping was sent to the owner of the cheer gym, Victory Vipers.
I just knew it wasn't real because I don't do that.
Bucks County District Attorney Matt Weintraub says police started investigating in July of last year and eventually executed search warrants at Spone's home. Her daughter and the 3 victims were on the same cheer squad. The DA alleges Spone took the victims' photos from social media and manipulated them to look like they were drinking, vaping, and even cropped out a girl's bikini so she looked naked.
The essence of it was to knock them down, to make them appear that they were not law-abiding, or get them knocked off the team would appear to be the motivation.
But the suspect's attorney says he can't comment because he says the DA hasn't presented any evidence.
She has absolutely denied what they're charging her with, and because of the fact that this is now hit the press, she has received death threats.
Himes says she and the suspect's daughter had a falling out earlier in the cheer season.
This is too much for the situation.
Rafael Spone, also known as Rafael Ainella, will have her first court appearance March 30th. In Doylestown, Jacqueline Lee for Action News at 10 on PHL 17.
Listen, we love our kids, right?
Bear with me, folks. Trying to do some new stuff here where I'm doing a pre-record. And this is the effects of trying to rush and do it. Oh, definitely will get better.
Listen, we love our kids, right? And I mean, it's important to guide our kids and support them in any means necessary. But I kind of think that the mom was overreacting, kind of here, right? What she did, considered criminal. She's allegedly did considered criminal. It's real possible that she could cause damage not only to those young girls that she was making deep fake videos allegedly about, but it also can be damaging to her own daughter as well. This is not the first time that something like this has happened as far as parents going extra. I believe there was a movie based on actual events about a cheerleading mom who was going to hire a hitman to take out her daughter's rivals. So, yeah, a little bit extra, a lot extra. Goes to show parents as well know they have a hold of technology. They can go out and do things. This is harming as this. I hope that these things get resolved. The good news is that there wasn't just one parent coming forth. There was extra other parents coming forth, and the cops were able to do their job by finding information, not only through looking at the pictures. You can tell that they were deep fakes based on the imprints of the pictures, as well as finding the IP address where the pictures came from, the deep fake pictures, and then linking them to her phone so that the charges were brought up. As you see, a lawyer got on TV and started talking, and you got a lawyer, that's what they're supposed to do. But this story is just, a lot. So for Bucks County, Pennsylvania, well, I keep an eye on that story, and maybe if we get any more information, we'll bring it on a later episode of The Lane. Well, I know a lot of Americans are happy that the next round of economic stimulus payments have been signed in the law, and the payments are going out, as some have already received their payments as early as this weekend. But one thing that didn't happen this time was any protection away from loan companies that that are owed money and owed debt. So this round of economic stimulus payments will not be protected from credit loan companies coming for their payments. So it's interesting to see how this will be played out. I know about a lot of Americans that do owe money are wishing that this doesn't happen. Does Elaine owe any money out there? We'll find out on the economic payment that we'll receive.
Kind of a weird thing happening here with Giannis. He's still putting up unbelievable numbers, and he's still an unstoppable force, but he's a little out of control, like anger-wise. You see the headbutt the other day? Yeah. He's had a couple of those kind of things. In the bubble? Yeah, he's had like 2 or 3 different situations where he either cheap shotted a guy or kind of got into a mini scuffle.
It was the third round of economic payments. The first one, each taxpayer that qualified received $1,200. The second impact, and the 1,200 plus an additional 600 or 500, I believe, per dependent. The second time was a $600 payment, and I believe it was 600 per dependent as well. This round of payments also includes a higher tax credit for anyone who files taxes that has dependents. So you'll receive a higher tax credit. I believe it's up to $3,600. So as far as the payments are concerned, some feel it's long overdue based on the amount of time that's passed between the last payments. And it can only help people, as a lot of the clauses that were in the first payments were taken away. Clauses such as um, landlord rights, as far as keeping and letting people stay in renting situations based on their economic impact. A lot of companies have made changes that if you had an economic impact that was stopping you from paying your bills, the economic impact was supposed to help you in that regard. So those are some of the things that's going on. And, as far as any new economic help, as Americans start to re-enter the workforce while we're 1 year after the pandemic, we hope to see the slide change thanks to the impact that's going to happen based on the number one, the world's starting to open back up. I should say the states are starting to open back up, and any other impact that can come from this is be helpful to have Americans go back to work. So this is the third round of stimulus. It was basically voted by the party. So the Democratic Party is the one that voted yes for this package. And a lot of the Republicans cite the reason for not voting was based off of the amount of things that were put inside of this bill that they felt as though were more socialist leaning laws. And of course, they're not going to stand for that and try to vote for that in any way possible. So, as this second round of economic impact goes down, we see, third round, hope that this can be the final round. As also, I was trying to say that now that the vaccines, we have 3 different types of vaccines that are being administered to the citizens to try to, put a hold on this coronavirus pandemic, and that's what's going to happen. So, as more vaccines come, as more is produced, I believe we had almost a record of almost 3 million people were vaccinated in one day on Friday. So the number of vaccinated people, as that continues to grow, hopefully that the pandemic and a lot of the restrictions are lifted so that we can return to some sense of normalcy when it comes to the pandemic. And finally tonight, a story from the gaming world as EA Sports, FIFA. Someone that works for EA Sports FIFA is accused of selling off valuable product, and when I say product, as cards and things that are related to EA Sports gaming, the video game FIFA 21, and one of the features is FIFA Ultimate Teams, which is a way where you collect cards of different players and you can get to a position where you can make a all-star team or sorts. The cards are given out in packs and the cards are random. So the employee is accused of giving it to certain accounts, which directly goes against the fair use, fair play guidelines that EA Sports has set. So, and this is big business because players can also buy points, and they can buy points to gain access to more cards. So, with that being said, the players that were suspected of being linked to this employee, those players' accounts have been terminated. And yes, it's a big deal. I also played the game before, and you struggle sometimes when you play against teams that have like super teams with good players at all the positions. So I guess any loss that I've ever lost should also be discredited. I should get a win for those if I played against any of those cheaters as well. FIFA is probably one of the biggest games in the EA Sports, if not online gaming as well. We know John Madden football is very big, and FIFA is just as big and has a worldwide following of players that follow that beautiful game of soccer or football if you're from another country. What else should happen? Well, it shouldn't be that somebody who works for them should be allowed to even interfere, but anything's possible with anything that's done by humans. So anything a man makes, man can destroy. Um, the new season of FIFA usually comes out after the start of a lot of European leagues. So the game usually comes out around October. Um, and so, as far as that story, I have no. My opinion is, the employee needs to be terminated, and the players that work with them, also their accounts should be terminated as well. Um, and FIFA itself, the company FIFA, is always usually involved in scandal itself, as FIFA is the governing body for the World Cup and a lot of international soccer games. FIFA is the company, the actual company that handles that. But as far as video gaming and EA Sports FIFA, um, more scandal. So FIFA itself can't stay out of scandal, huh? Well, and that will conclude another episode of The Lane. I'm Mills Lane, and I would like to thank you for joining. Also, thank my sponsors, Watch While You Work, and Sinful Sips by Nicole. So thank you for joining again, and have a great day.